Alright, yo, hello and welcome everybody, what is going on? So we're here today with episode 7 of the Expanse. Now this episode is titled Windmills. Okay. I'm trying to think of like what windmills could possibly represent. I mean, windmills, they don't generate wind. That's not what they do. But I guess in the context of this show, how important, how precious, water and wind are, I would assume it has something to do with either wind generation. Generating wind? Potentially. Or it has to do with something else, something I'm completely missing right now. Now, episode 6 was... what was it titled? I think Back to the Butcher, I believe. Was that episode 6 or was that episode 5? Regardless, the last episode... we essentially had the remainder, well, I can't say the remainder, but like the people that are currently still alive from the original Canterbury ship, which is not obviously the Rocinante ship, and they're off to find Lionel Polanc, because apparently Lionel Polanc knows some more about who was behind everything. Basically, he apparently knows more, and so they're off on a hunt to find him. And I mean, we went to the butcher, and granted, the butcher, he was kind of like here, he's kind of like there. I still don't trust 100% of the things that he's saying, but there was a thing where like Naomi basically spoke to him and essentially said, one of these days I'm gonna come back here. And I'm gonna ask you to find a person, no questions asked. And obviously that means that he's going to be important in the future. That means Naomi's going to be there in the future to ask for that certain person. So she's likely not going to die anytime soon. And it means that maybe I should trust the butcher more. With a nickname like that, the butcher, it's very hard for me to trust. Yeah, sorry if that's just me, alright? But it's very hard for me to trust someone nicknamed the butcher. If I was called the butcher, I wouldn't want any of you lot to watch me, because I'd be like, you shouldn't really trust me. You should know better than that. You should know better than that. But hey, who am I to judge? At the end of the day, who am I to judge, right? Shall we get started, ladies and gentlemen, with episode 7 titled Windmill. So far, it's only been 7 episodes. But I've actually really enjoyed it. I don't know about you lot, but I'm assuming the people that watch this video have already seen the series, unless there are some of you who are watching this for the first time alongside me. In that case, welcome. But I'm assuming that if you're watching this this video specifically, whether it's on YouTube, whether it's on Patreon, whether it's like the early access, whether it's the highlights, or whether it's full length, well, perhaps if you're watching full length, you've not seen it already, but that's more likely. But I'm assuming if you're watching this, you've already seen it. If you haven't seen it yet, right, and you're watching this with me for the first time, let me know, because I'd be intrigued. Because, I could kind of theory craft with you and just, like, speculate and so on and so forth. Because I know that you won't be able to spoil me and I won't be able to spoil you. So it'd be perfect. So, I don't know. I doubt there's very few of them. I know the comment section itself has been very, very good in terms of, like, not spoiling things. Obviously, I have mods that always like go through it and everything and tell me if there's a spoiler, so I shouldn't read and so on and so forth. But it's been great so far. Nothing out of the ordinary. Like, there's been no spoilers from what I've been told, so that's great. Regardless, ladies and gentlemen, let's get started.
Maybe.
I must check it out.
And in the last episode, we saw like the butcher do something.
Amos.
He did something with the corpse. I don't know what he did. I watched that scene like 2 times. It just seemed like that was it. How do you... what I was going to say wouldn't even make sense. How do you even find yourself in a situation like that, considering we saw how they found themselves in a situation like that? But it's like having everything go wrong for you, basically.
I got contacts there. I was just calling them to arrange.
I don't trust a word he's saying.
Yeah, we're not going there, Rose.
You're not. And where the hell? There's nothing else out here.
None of you did.
Do you trust him or not? I wouldn't. I'm sorry. I'm one of those people. I wouldn't trust anyone with anything.
You think the Martians Bible
That is
verse
the truth.
yourself.
Will you shut him up, please?
No, look,
He-
you need to.
Talk some more.
You got a good
Mate,
right.
start talking.
You use it too much, but you got a good right.
Enough.
He talks way too much, and I talk a lot, so I'm trying to stop myself from talking all the time, damn it. Stop talking so much. Stop it. I said stop it. But you talk more. Never mind. But talk less. I wouldn't trust him. Like I said, I don't take chances, no matter what. Even in this situation where, like, we could all die, we need every single person. If I can't trust you, then I'm not going to rely on your help, because you may just be a liability.
This is a good day for starting over. Man.
Look, you could see it, there's rage in his eyes, bro.
This isn't over.
When we first met, you told me that I was the patron saint of lost causes. You remember that? I think I may have found another one of you.
No. Better make the first move.
Not yet, but we are.
Exactly.
Closer, huh?
It's check.
I was never fighting against you, Luna. In fact, I was fighting.
He still says that. He still believes that. That's the fascinating bit in my mind.
I was thinking that when your goons were tossing me in the airlock.
You were thinking about me then.
That's a bit.
I'm honored. Usually, when a man is about to lose everything,
Thanks.
he realizes what mattered to him most.
True.
He sees it clearly for the first
Very
time.
true. We got a little bit of James's backstory when he was interrogated by the police. So let's see what it is. Let's see more.
Raised by people like you, and he joins the Earth Navy. Was he trying to piss you off?
Are we gonna see? Oh, well, not gonna see, but I'm assuming are we gonna get some
Why did
backstory?
he leave your little paradise here?
Because I kicked him out.
You haven't told me he's dead. You're dancing around it. Letting me say it. Why is that? Jimmy's alive.
That was such a great acted scene. I love it. I love it. Great acting is like my favorite thing. All right, great actresses, great actors, just coming together.
About that radio thing, our comms are all messed up.
Please transmit your flight plan and lading, Rocinante.
Roger that.
Do not deviate from your present course. If you do, you will be fired upon.
Watch your step.
What's next?
Worried about what's gonna happen when they board you? 'Cause
Yeah,
won't
they
board
are.
If that happens, you won't be around to see it.
Man,
You think I won't space you?
you. Oh, I'm pretty sure you will. Won't change anything though.
I love this episode actually. It's literally it's just dialogues. It's very good dialogue so far.
But I have valuable information. And Christ, I've had to pee for like 2 hours.
I'll see you soon.
This. Do you take your chances? I'm split.
You put all your hopes on your son. I pressured mine to
There he
join
goes.
the Marines, or I wouldn't pay for his education. First step in a career of public service, like mine and my
There you
father's.
go.
So he did what was expected. That's why he was in Callisto during the insurrection. That took
It's
his
the
life.
personal stories.
I've been wanting for someone to come around and tell me that it was all a terrible mistake. That my son is still alive. I'll be
Understanding with someone, especially with a great actress like that, you can actually feel it. You can actually feel the pain.
I have a few grudges.
Donkey balls. Did you just say donkey balls?
Is that the?
was flying transport for the MCRN. We ran across this unflagged tanker acting kind of suspect in a
Black
battle
code?
zone, so we prepared to engage. But when my captain hailed them, they just jabbered on and on, ending with the phrase,
Hey man, donkey balls.
And just like that, my captain ordered me to change my locker somewhere on this deck, somewhere right here. Right.
It's a massive, massive
right here
ship.
where?
You gotta have a code book.
All right, sweetheart. Show me where.
But okay, he's proving himself useful right now. He's proving himself useful right now. Broop. Just opens. Knock 5 times. I'll do that.
Where did you get that key?
Donkey balls.
E-O-N-K. No. No. I actually thought maybe Donkey Balls was 24. But no. Just try A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, P, O, P. Just, I don't know. It's better than not trying nothing at this point.
Yeah. It didn't come out. We're good.
Yeah, no shit.
It's at the bottom right now.
What are
There's
you
only
doing?
one way and that's up.
Well,
There's only one way and that's up.
gonna take a trip.
To where?
Arrow.
We set him up to be a leader, and then gave him a fight he could never win.
Seems like what he's doing right now.
The day before, Jimmy still hasn't found his place, but at least he's free.
So you're gonna try and hack it? You're gonna... Or do that. He's got the mechanical eye.
Guys, this
He's
is
got the
taking way too
mechanical
long.
eye.
It's composite titanium. If we started an hour.
Who said it? You could talk.
I did.
Do you know how many Martians died getting
So we
us
gotta
off
stay
the-
alive.
Ship that size? A few hundred? And now you're gearing up to kill a few more like it was.
Because he wants to keep you all alive.
Because they are the enemy right now.
Exactly.
And we're the fugitives. And as far
There's
as
nothing
they're
wrong with
concerned,
that.
We're the ones who blew up the Donager. I'm talking about the Mickeys coming through that airlock to take us down. You logged the distress call.
I knew he'd come back to that.
Welcome to the church.
Welcome to the churn.
Naomi was right to be afraid.
You're saved by the alarm, I have to say. Because I think that conversation would have gone wrong here. I think that conversation would have gone very, very wrong. Hurry, 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 hurry. I've never broken into something, but you should have broken into that. Quicker.
Rocinante, this is your final
Yeah, I'm
warning.
sorry to be such a.
Ubiquitous mendacious polygonus.
Ubiquitous. And mendacious and polyglottal. Like a couple of donkey balls.
You just had to say that, didn't you? Got it, Chief. Safe travels. Oh, come on. The silence.
Received and
Good.
understood, Rocinante. You get those comms checked out when you hit port.
Good, good. I mean... They're not gonna... I was actually worried that they might have died. I don't know why, considering that we've spent 7 episodes with these characters. They're not just gonna kill them off like that. But...
Can you believe that? Damn, I'm good.
That worked
But
out.
man...
Good, yo.
Man, I would be sad.
See, it wasn't so bad.
Yes, ma'am. Secretary
I almost felt like I was there in the ship with them.
Unauthorized field
That's what it
trips
felt
now.
like.
I think our boy James Holden may have money issues, problems with authority, and guilt for not saving the world. But I don't see a terrorist mastermind. We'll have the asset back him and bring him home for a long chat.
I need you back here.
She's gone through so much this episode to understand him. I wonder what's next. What's she gonna do next? That's... Because she's just gone through too much for it to be like, no. Yeah. I legitimately love how these two stories are coming together.
Clear, Chief.
I mean, they've always kind of been linked, but now they're really coming together.
Between whatever leash you had him on,
Better get him back.
Y'all need to calm down.
Getting shown the road?
He would have made a good decision. The wise decision, in my opinion.
We will be cruising at a comfortable 130G, so feel free to move about the compartments until midpoint flip and burn next stop.
Aero station. Eros. Feels so weird seeing Miller without. I'm assuming, yeah. It feels so weird seeing Miller without his hat. That hat was him. He was the hat. And that's the end of the episode. I know. Oh, let me just pause it here so it doesn't go to the next episode. Close. Okay. I know what the hat was obviously supposed to represent here. You know, the hat was supposed to be him, or at least I think that's what it's supposed to represent. Was supposed to represent him being part of you know, the police force and so on and so forth. And now that is not any. Now that he's not part of them anymore. You know, getting rid of the hat as a sign of like, yeah, we're going rogue right now. Like I'm not affiliated with anything right now. Right now, I am just me. I am I. You know, that's obviously what I could interpret it as. This episode, I have to say though, it was the episode of dialogues. It was the episode of dialogues. Like. You know, we had so many very, 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 very good dialogues. Like, you had the one on, obviously, the Rocinante between Amos, even Amos and James. Then on Earth, you had the dialogue between Avasarala and Mrs. Holden, I guess. And it's one of those things that often goes unnoticed. The acting, because usually, when you watch a show, it's always about the story or the characters, so on and so forth, or the plot, so on and so forth. But like this episode, I felt like, first of all, I felt the tension. I really felt the tension. When they were on the ship and everything, and like they were got that close to being attacked and so on and so forth, I actually felt the tension personally. Like as I said. If I had thought about this episode like logically, like which I usually try and do, I try and think of everything logically. If I had thought about this logically, I probably would have been like, yeah, no, they're not gonna die. We're not gonna spend 7 episodes with them just for them to perish or something, or something along those lines. But I don't know why. Maybe it's because I like the character so much at this point. But like I truly felt like I was in that ship, which doesn't happen to me often. Where I like try and imagine myself, in a character's shoes or something, but I truly felt like I was in that ship, like it was me in that ship, and I was going through all of that right there, and I was like, I was feeling the tension, I was feeling the pressure, everything was happening to me as it was happening to them. So well done to the show, I guess. Like it's truly well done to the show that like I was feeling the way the characters have been feeling, which is, have the tension, have the drama, have everything going on, just be caught up in the moment. But then you contrast that with like the brilliant dialogue that we've had on Earth regarding James. It's difficult for me to say right now what my favorite part of the story is. It really is difficult for me to say right now. Because you've got Ceres. And Ceres seems to be, funnily enough, Ceres seems to be like the part of the story that is moving the fastest. It seems to be the part of the story where like the most shocking things story-wise happens. For example, Havelock being and then coming back alive, like, ugh, I'm back alive. And then obviously with the betrayal and everything. That seems to be like the shock factor almost. Like the shock factor. That's really what it seems to be at the moment, right? And then he goes like to Earth. And Earth is just this show has really made it's really made a good perhaps a good distinction between like a free major factions, or the three major cities. Like, it truly does feel like, you have the Belters, you have the Earths, and then you kind of just in a Martian territory. With like, them on the Rocinante, they are going for like the military subject. They're going through like the military procedures and everything. With like spies here, spies there. Nearly being attacked here, potentially being attacked there, so on and so forth. Then you have the Belter, which is more like just like the infighting and like the smaller political scale and whatnot. Like, there's a smaller political conflict, which are obviously more shocking because it's more personal, more smaller in scope. And then you go back to Earth, and it's like, okay, we're dealing with this and that, big politics here, big politics here, big decision making here, big decision making there. Obviously, this episode was a little bit different because I felt like this episode on Earth, it was actually like very personal too, whereas Earth has usually been like the big spectacle, but now it just felt like, this is the personal Earth story. It's like we've had that a little bit before, obviously with Avasarala, where she and the one person that used to be like a friend of her dad's, but like I felt like that was in a broader scale too. Because like that was, to find out whether it was Mars or not. In this case, it's really just a case of this episode. Like honestly, I feel like you could basically write out. Yeah, that's weird. And I feel like with this, I'll mention what is weird in a second. But I feel like you could write out. I feel like this is the first Earth story that you could potentially write out that doesn't involve some big political affair. Like, this one was just about like, okay, I want to learn more. Let's talk to the mother. It was a very personal story, which I very like because it's quite different. But here's what's weird, right? And I'm just looking at it right now because I've got the page open on Amazon Prime, which is what I've been watching the show on. This episode 7, titled Windmills, has an age rating of 12 and over. And then there are other episodes that have like an age rating of 15, and then there's like 1 or 2 episodes that are like 12, and like the rest is basically 15. It's very strange. I can definitely see it because this episode there wasn't anything like striking or anything like which would demand like a higher age rating. I guess this episode, it was basically just, for the most part, it was dialogues. Like, this was a dialogue episode. I don't know what Windmills really is supposed to signify here, but I do think it was the strongest episode in terms of dialogue. Probably didn't make for a great reaction, but I really enjoyed it. Because, as I said before, the actresses and actors putting in a good performance often goes unnoticed because it's not the grand, it's not the big, it's not the the spectacle that everyone wants to see, where like, the characters are clashing, the characters are betraying one another, and so on and so forth. But just good dialogue. It's one of my favorite things. All right, for reference, I've got a book here that I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with. I'm currently reading it for like the 4th time. Game of Thrones, right? Yeah, I think I've started reading that. I've started going through that again. But like, I just enjoy good dialogue. Like, you don't even need to have much happening. In this case, obviously, you had good dialogue, but you also had something happen. So it was just even better in that case. Like, the tension was there. The tension was rising. And quite frankly, it could have all gone south. We've had main characters die left and right everywhere so far. So maybe I should expect there to be things going on. But like, if I really thought about it logically, the Rocinante should have been fine if I thought about it logically. Now, of course, there are 2 things here that are obviously going on. First of all, Amos. Amos. He's always been a loose cannon, and you all know that I've always just looked at him as the brute, basically just a muscle, right? But I think he was actually right this episode. Like James was like, you know what, we need to capture them, but like, let's not kill them. How are you gonna manage to do that? Explain to me. How are you gonna try and do that, right? If they have guns, you have guns. Who's gonna be like, oh, wait, I'm not gonna shoot. You could capture me. No, they're gonna fight for their lives, alright? Because they don't know what you lot are gonna do, what you lot are up to. You may have the moral high ground here, you know, you're not innocent and everything, and people have died to get you here. And if you have to shed more innocent blood to progress further, I think you have to. Personally, I think, you know, once so many people have died for you, you know, you basically, really should fulfill the dying wish. If so many people have sacrificed their life for you. And in this case, you know, I do think that that Amos was right. I don't say that often. I know they're trying to like paint him as like a mad rabid dog, and I get that. You know, he's always like, you know, he's always the brute. He's always first to like to pull the trigger. He's always first to like want, you know, to pull. He's always first to want to go into action and combat and so on and so forth. But you need someone like him, because when it comes down to it, like when you really need someone like that, James is not. He hasn't got the not determination, but he hasn't got the mentality to pull the trigger. And we saw that like last episode with Tavi, like how difficult pulling the trigger can actually be. You know, it's not just a, oh, you're just gonna do it and it's gonna be done before it's over. No, it's actually very much a difficult thing to do. And you know, you need someone like Amos. Granted, you know, he might be able to go overboard sometimes here and there. He might always be a little bit too quick to pull the trigger, or want to pull the trigger. But he is certainly someone that you need to have on your team, in my opinion. I think. See, I was gonna say, I think maybe what they're going for here is like having a rift, and then later on they come back together. And they actually move forward, both of them. But I kind of felt that way last episode. That I was like, oh, have they finally put things... Have they finally let bygones be bygones? But no, it came back this episode. And I feel like they need like a proper rift, you know? When I say rift, I mean like a proper rift. Like where like maybe like we'll see Amos go his own way for like a few episodes, and James go his own way for like a few episodes, and then like come back together, and like that's when the group will form, you know, properly. Or it could go in a totally opposite direction, and you know what, Amos will get kicked off. Could go one or two ways. Maybe a third way where he's just gonna stay there, and they're never gonna get any better, and they're just gonna always have that rift between them. That, you know, just it's all your fault. It's like, you're too quick, you're too violent, you know. So who knows? Could go multiple ways, in all honesty. But yeah, that was episode 7, titled Windmills. It's going to be fun to see what's going to happen from episode 8 onwards. How many episodes are there left? Episode 8, 9, and 10. So we're almost finished with this season. It's a bit of a shame. There's like, how many seasons? 3 seasons, and the 4th season is coming out soon? No, 4 seasons. Oh, and the 5th season is coming out soon. Oh, no. 4th season is just a teaser trailer. Okay, cool. Okay, so, yeah, did the camera just, like, lag? No, it doesn't look like it. But yeah, we are nearly finished with the 1st season. How to say? I like the show so far. But that's all I have to say. That's all I have to say right now. That's all I have to say. Folks, I will see you all, ladies and gentlemen, in the next one, everyone. Until then, have a nice day. Peace out. And hey everybody, if you like this video, please be sure to rate, comment, favorite, and subscribe. And if you want to see more of these kind of videos, be sure to check out Patreon to get 1 week early access as well as full length. Until next time everybody, peace out and have a nice day.